Alrighty, hello every folks, and good morning. So, I'm sure there's at least some of you out there that have been playing through the Unicorn Overlord demo and did not know that you can actually customize your people. By which I mean that you can actually customize your main character, you can customize everybody. You can actually customize their growths, customize their looks. If you wanted to, for example, take a lane and let's say go ahead and turn him into, let's say, a more defensive sort, I will make him a lucky guardian here. I'll go ahead and actually give him some red stuff here. We'll go ahead and give him some gold armor. Just kind of go for that Weegraph look over here. Change his hair color so he looks a bit less anime. There we go. There we go. We just turned him into Weegraph. Fantastic. That's what I like to see. All right, so now we're ready to go find some frickin' Zodiacs or whatever. But yeah, this will actually carry over to cutscenes and everything. So yeah, you can actually customize all of your people courtesy of an Idealist's Hand Mirror. But how do you get this? Because you probably haven't run into it in stores and whatever else. Well, you see, it's a bit of a multi-step process, just like many other things. So you need this guy. So basically, he is your RE4 merchant, except he's actually in this game. You've got a lot of things that this guy will give you. Honestly, I would say the Thief's Mantle is probably the better of these, being essentially an accessory that allows for the thief evade on other people. So yeah, that's freaking amazing. In fact, I would say Thief's Mantle is probably just ideal on something like a hoplite. Like, think about it. You get the hoplite with the evade, they try to go fight their warrior units that normally counter them, and suddenly they do nothing. You've got stuff like the Lapis Pendant, which is going to give you additional points. You've got the Carnelian Pendant that'll give you more of the other points. You've got the Zenorian weapons, which will give you better defenses and health and things like that. The Starless Bow, which I'm assuming shadow arrows, like a shadow attack or something. What I find a little bit funny is that it actually doesn't seem to tell you. Well, yeah, it inflicts blindness. There we go. I don't know why I'm saying it doesn't tell you, but we've got magic bombs that can also destroy traps. You've got a bunch of the better items for going and getting your rapport up, and then lastly, you got the Idealist's Hand Mirror. So the Idealist's Hand Mirror is going to give you the ability to again customize anybody into anything. And this again includes all of your plot characters. It includes everybody. Honestly, I don't get why more games don't do this because this is freaking awesome. And in fact, I think it's probably largely due to how they handle the art in this game. That so much of it is able to be customized that it's not all baked in. So if we go over to our items here, actually I think probably one of my favorite uses for this thing is over on Joseph, because you can make Joseph look like an absolute badass, so he's already good as he is. And what's the usual problem you run into with your cavalry badass over in Fire Emblem? Well, you got your problems of them not necessarily having stats that are made for, whooping ass. Now, by this point, he's gotten to the point that his defenses are still pretty good, but, he could be a bit more useful as a more offensive person, right? So if you decide to go, oh, I don't know, go, double offensive or something like that on his stats and things. So let's go ahead and say double offensive, right? Doubling down on that, we go ahead and switch him over to some red armor. We go and take that gray out of his beard. We go ahead and make him a little bit younger there. We'll go ahead and give him some black armor. We'll go ahead and adjust his horse. And what's funny is you switch to the chestnut coat. It makes it look like the horse's eyes went black. Now tell me this dude is not more badass than he was before. But you can do this with everybody. In fact, I think that was actually one of the preview things that allowed for change that actually had them changing Chloe into something else. Like if we just wanted to decide to make her into Link for whatever reason, we have the option. So there's that. You can't change your voice or anything, but yeah, you can change everybody around like this, whether you want to have your customs or not. Obviously, your other ones you probably should have already customized up to this point, but it's just great to see this here. If you want to make Lex look like less like a dork, you can go ahead and change his hair color here. What's his base color? I guess he's got a custom color, but there we go. We'll just go ahead and make him look a bit more reasonable. Do we just... you know what? Screw it. Just turn him pink. I don't know. Anyway, so we just go ahead and switch... there we go. Now he looks a bit more awesome. Or, kind of think of it, if we wanted to go for more of a Dio look, let's see. We get probably some a bit more... probably on the bluish side, blackish bluish. Kind of feel like the blackish bluish would probably do the job better. Yeah, I think that this looks a little bit better. make him look a little bit more like Dio there. I forget. I think yeah, Dio still had the blue Palatinian sashes and things, so I think just that will probably work better in that particular regard. But yeah, you can change all of your people to whatever you'd like to, look however you'd like. Actually, how does this guy end up looking? Guardian defensive. There we go. Switch him to. We can get his evil variant from before. Ooh, we can. Oh, that looks cool. Man, this guy looks like he just came out of RuneScape all of a sudden. He's got his Dragonfire shield. Just guy coming in with his DFS and his Steel Hosta. Anyway, so yeah, you can do a lot of fun stuff with this. This is a really fun item. If you're... I recently made a speedrun guide that's probably going up at the same time this is, if you're wondering how to get here fast enough to be able to afford this, because you have to basically clear out the majority of the island. While this guy does his business over here, you seem to need to have captured at least half the forts on the island for him to take you seriously. Now, I've heard some folks mention that it had to be specifically areas around him. I disagree, because the last couple forts that I took were over in this direction, and he seemed suddenly very happy about that. So I think it's more total territory that you've actually gotten back. But you have to be able to get this guy within that 5 hours, and you also need to be able to have 30 grand when you get here. So a couple of tips on this: don't waste your money on healing items necessarily. Only use a couple of items per fight, which granted you can't go too crazy with your items anyway. Don't buy as much equipment unless it's very specific items. Again, see the speedrun guide for that. It was at least a start of the speedrun guide, because you can just go so many other directions. It's just the beginning that I feel is really the launching point that gets things going. But use this map to get around. For those that didn't know, if you hit select and you just select an area, you can just go there. So it'll be a hell of a lot faster than trying to run there all the time. That alone might be enough to get you here on time. And this was all done on expert, so it's not a matter of just set it to a lower difficulty and hope for the best. There's a ton of stuff still to discover in this demo. I know that there's guides out here. I'm just having a ton of fun finding it on my own. I'm still trying to figure out what the deal is. There's like some kind of timing thing with tablets or whatever else. I think that puzzle is related to that sword that I saw some folks going on about. Though I want to point out one thing. I saw the thumbnail for that sword. I haven't seen exactly what it is that it's meant to be, but I just want to point out this real quick. Here, where's my details button? There we go. The runic sword. You can actually get this at the very beginning. So the stats that I saw on that particular sword, I don't know what exactly it was. I think it was like all stats up and then attack 25. The runic sword, for comparison, is 8 plus 14, so we're getting up to 22 and plus 3 magic defense, but it's also counting as magic when you're attacking. And additionally, I like to think that this is the magic sword from the original Zelda, because it looks so much like the sprite for that one. So anyway, that's just personal preference on that one. But either way, every run-through I've been giving this to Elaine, because he just becomes an absolute just cavalry annihilator. A combination of the magic attack from this sword as well as a cavalry slayer. Like, this guy just deletes heavy armor units like nothing. So yeah, dude's pretty cracked with this stuff, and he's still running his basic shield. So yeah, guard rate 42%, and he just bypasses defense. The guy's insane. The man cannot be stopped. Well, he gets stopped pretty regularly, but still, you get the general idea. Anyway, so hopefully this was helpful, and yeah, go ahead and give speedrunning this thing a try. If you only played through it once, you don't know what you're in for yet. Oh man, it's crazy to think that a demo can have this much replay value. What is this? What is this demo, man? Anyway, alright, I'll see you in the next one.